Yeah, so like I said, Lyndon, he committed suicide. And at that time, I was living at 164 Mail Road, and that was right opposite 123 Mail Road, where Country Boy, who taught me reggae, was living. And Lyndon had come to live with me because we'd lost the other squad. Both of them were squads, really, where Terrence and me and Lyndon had been before. What happened was everything was still all right. Lyndon was still sort of okay, and I decided that I was going to go back to Denmark. So I told Sid that I was going to leave the cleaning job, but I'd be back, and I hope that there'd be a job for me when I get back. And I just needed to go back to Denmark because now it was mission accomplished. I had gone to England, I had conquered, I'd found a place to live, I had found a job, and I did not return within a week, as my sister had said, that you're going to go to England, you'll be back within a week. And exactly what I said, that black people would put me up, is what happened. Because they'd ask me where you're going to live and everything. And I said, no, I'm going to go there and black people are going to take care of me because black people take care of black people. That's what I'd said. So I arrived in London with only £5, and black people did take care of me. You know, first night I slept on the street. Next night a black person came and said that, hey youth, what are you doing here? And took me to his place. And then the next day I met Terrence and stayed by them. And then I met Country Boy, and Country Boy was, gave me into the band. And he said that, yeah, when you come back, we'll have a place where you can stay. This was the older people now. The night before I was going to leave for Denmark. I had decided that I was going to go home and came for the last rehearsal. And emotion hits me now. Well, we were supposed to do a show at Brixton Town Hall. We were rehearsing for that. We had a drummer called Darren. And Darren used to play the drums really good and everything. We'd do that show, and then they would have a show in the summertime for a brother who had died called Cosmic Ray. They're going to have that show at Brockwell Park. So the brother got us a show at Brixton, and I was like, okay, Brixton Town Hall. And that was my first experience of a show situation in London, a community show. And we'd gone there, and then when we were at the venue, the bass player said that, well, we can't play. I said, why? Because Darren has been taken in by the police. So he'd been doing some criminal whatever stuff, and the police took him, so we couldn't play. Anyway, we hung around Brixton Town Hall, and it was an experience because the sound system from 12 Tribes was playing. They're called Jah Revelation music. And I tell you, man, the experience of seeing these Rasta people, big locks, big hat, moving real slow, smoke the herb and everything, and looking so regal, I mean, I used to be taken by Bob Marley, but some of the brothers were so, the sisters, everybody was like, these people, these Rasta people, and then the reggae, oh my God, Jah Revelation music, the bass. This is now the first time I'm going, apart from the people who used to do the sound system downstairs that keep the bass, but now we went to a town hall, and my God, this thing was thumping. So I went up to the kitchen to get a little bit of food. And while I was up there, I met this brother called Joseph, who's from Haiti, and we became friends. And he says to me that he wants to, music or whatever. And I don't know why. People used to get attracted to me, So, and he wanted to do music. And I hadn't played a note. but he wanted to put a band together, so he basically, I got his contacts and everything, and that was about that. So I had his number. Those days, if you want to call somebody, how could I have had his number? What kind of contact did he have? Because those days people didn't have mobile phones. And I know for sure he didn't have an, well, I don't know, man. I can't remember. It's gonna know. Well, anyway, fuck that shit. I got in touch with him somehow. Anyway, the last day came and I'm getting ready to go back to Denmark, and it was very sad. These older Rasta people talking to me about the music. Country Boy gave me some records, said please take these to Denmark for people to play my songs, and he had a album, a song called Slide Mongoose. A farmer's dog was on the road, Bingo was his name. B-I-N-G-O, 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 Bingo was his name. Slide mongoose, your name gone abroad. Slide mongoose, your name gone abroad. Mongoose, can't remember the words. Ratchet, put it back in his waistcoat and him run mongoose. Go long, boy, if you go Brock Rockstone. Go long, boy, if you go Brock Rockstone. Broke them one by one. Go long, boy, go from two by two. If you're march when I play, tell them I play, we are play. And you know, I was just captivated by the music. And I brought the music to Laos, you know, because I brought that stuff to what you call it? To Aarhus. And I came back, I was a hero. Zaki and them were respecting me, and everybody was like, wow. And I had this accent, you know. There's a woman called Anna, I think she's watching this one. She was a girlfriend of a brother called Pa Samba, you know, living in Aarhus. They witnessed me as a youth saying I was going to go to England to follow reggae, and they couldn't believe it. And they said, this young man is crazy. So when I came back, it was like, Jimmy is back from London. And I was so proud. I learned how to make my Ital food. And Anna says that I came to their apartment and I cooked them some Ital food. And I was speaking this with this language. I said, why are you even talking different? Because I picked up the Guyanese accent. And it was just a celebration. And then I went back to Hinnerup. And in Hinnerup, one time I was taking the bus, because you take the bus from Aarhus. So one time on the bus from Hinnerup, I'm just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, this guy from behind me comes, and he takes off his headphones and says, hey man, with an American accent, hey man, you want to jam some Bob Marley? And I was like, okay. So I say, yeah, but if I didn't listen to music, we sat down and we were talking and everything and all of that. And great. So he gets off the bus and he says his name is Eric Duer and whatever and all that kind of whatever. Then next time now I'm riding on the bus and Eric comes on together with this girl, and I swear to God I had never in my life seen a girl as beautiful as that girl, like real life. I was like, who is that girl? And I figured that it must be Eric's girlfriend. And he says that no, she had been an exchange student in Denver, or was it Seattle, and they had kind of like dated back then, but she broke up, so he came to visit her and she just wants to be friends. And I was like, oh, just friends, huh? So I was thinking to myself, damn, I never seen a girl as beautiful as her. I couldn't believe how beautiful she was. Oh, and I remember it's because I was waiting on the bus to go to Aarhus, and he came riding with her just as I was about to get on the bus in Hinnerup to go to Aarhus. And I was like, no, that is something else. So next thing I know, Eric starts bringing Karen and the friend Reggae and then other kids to where I was living at my sister's house. My sister had left and she was spending most of the time with her boyfriend, or no, she'd gone off on Interrail. And so we had this apartment that Dad had bought for us because Dad wanted us to study university. So he wanted to make sure we had a place to stay, so he got a place in Hinnerup. And my sister was gone, so it was just me. And then after a while, my brother Danny came from Africa so he could start going to after school. But that summer, he was put into my care. The summer of 89, not 69. My friend, let me tell you something. Whatever it was that I brought with me from London, whatever vibe it was that had gelled in me, it was attracting kids. Because the word spread in Hinnerup that there is a house where there's this Rasta, this kid who's into reggae music. He plays guitar and he sings. And you can go to that house and you can be free the whole day. The kids couldn't believe it. Listen, we had about 20, maybe 25 kids coming from morning till evening at my place. And I'd be cooking Ital food. And my brethren Zaki from Ethiopia, he became a Muslim later and changed his name to Noor. And he became a Muslim almost in competition with me because I was into the Bible, and it was like, he's not into that at all. He was into football, he loved girls. Like Zaki was just like, I don't know how he did it, but he was the guy who took me out into town in August. First time took me to investigate house, whatever. He scored the girls. I'd be walking with Zaki on the street in August, and it takes like half an hour to go down Go Girl, because everywhere there's some girls saying, Zaki, Zaki, Zaki. They just loved him like crazy. And I just be standing there being all boring and everything. But by the time I came back from London, man, I was the man. For some reason, something happened, and these girls were like, and man, we had girls, we had kids. A kid brought a unicycle, and our neighbor, and I learned to ride the unicycle like Peter Tosh. You know, it was, and we'd be cooking food and jamming the guitar all fucking day and sometimes all night. And the word spread around Hinnerup, you know. And one time the police had to come because the neighbors were like, vad är det för något? Vad är det för ett hus det bara fyllt med ungar? De laver ikke andet end bare spil og hvad er det for nogen? Hvordan, altså, hvem bor der? Hvem har råd til det? It was my summer of love, God knows. Rastafari. That was magical, Hinnerup. My God. My girlfriend Lisa from the after school came to visit me. And she cried because he just said, oh no, I've lost you. And I cried too because I just knew that things have changed. That's like, you know, I used to love you a lot, but, you know, like things changed, you know. It was an amazing summer, the summer of love. And so I was fixing to go back to England, but I lost my passport. Somehow. I just lost my passport. And I looked everywhere, I couldn't find my passport. I had to forget about going to England. And my parents came up from Africa and we went to the farm, Hopo. I had to wait until I got a new passport before I could go back to England. So this was all before I moved into 164 Mayo Road, all before I met, all before Lyndon had killed himself. So I was giving you a little bit of the history. All of that is 1989. So the very first thing that happened in 89 while I was living with Lyndon, that was the year of Tiananmen Square. I read about Tiananmen Square in a newspaper while living in that squat. That Chinese man in front of the tank. It was a time of change, 1989, serious time. If any of you remember 89, it was huge, it was big.